surprised by the news that Michael Schumacher is making a return to Formula One?
Not entirely. He was been around the paddock now for the last year or so, and I'm not sure he's been hankering to make a comeback, but he's been there supporting the team. He's very loyal to the Ferrari, and of course the hugely sad news about Massa has encouraged him perhaps to think about the team and himself and make this comeback. So I'm not entirely surprised.
You mentioned the sad news about Felippe Massa, that of course his injury has brought this situation on, brought it to a head. Why have Ferrari though gone for a 40-year-old guy who's been out of the sport for 3 years and not a more ready-made replacement? So, one of their test drivers perhaps.
I think they've gone for Schumacher because is there anyone better than him? He's won 7 world championships. The test drivers that they've got, Badois and Genet, they don't have the experience. They certainly don't have the cunning sharpness that Schumacher used to have. Whether he still has it or not, of course, that's why everybody will turn in to watch the race in Valencia. I mean, it's a huge draw. Apart from the commercial side, technically he will bring a new oomph to that team, and he will make a lot of the drivers sit up and take notice. That is for certain.
But in your view, just how competitive can a 40-year-old guy who's been out, as I say, out of the car for 3 years, hasn't had the luxury of testing that car, and because I know there's limitations now on in-season testing. It's a big ask for anybody, and it's a huge ask for a 40-year-old, isn't it?
I think anyone who dismisses Michael Schumacher because of age is making a grave error. We all know what our own Nigel Mansell did, and won races at 41. Michael Schumacher can certainly do the same. He is a very wily old character, and he is very proud of what he's achieved. He certainly would not have made this comeback and supported the team and what they're trying and going through at the moment, unless he was certain in his mind that given enough track time he can deliver. Certainly initially I'd be staggered if he's not in the top 10 of qualifying, and he will be very close to the podium in my view in Valencia. And a couple of things that will help him. Valencia is a street circuit, so people don't know them as well as they perhaps did in the past. Sure, he hasn't raced there before, but he did not race in Spa when he drove for me in 1991 and he qualified 7th. Michael Schumacher is a different breed. The mere fact that we're talking about a driver making a comeback at 40 years of age, it's his style, his history. He is a legend, and he has just everything going for himself. This is huge news, not just sporting, but also...
What did you see in the young Michael Schumacher? I mean, what is it that sets him apart from other drivers?
Well, I wasn't entirely certain until he actually sat in and drove the car. I'd seen him in Formula 3 and I saw him in sports cars. He was outstanding then, but very few people took the risk. Jordan was always one. It was an irreverent team and it was always prepared to have a go. And Michael Schumacher had that, if you like, he had something that I saw. This guy, I believe, can deliver for us. I mean, I'm not going to say that we had something special when we didn't have. I was lucky. He was there, he was available, and we gave him the chance. And he took every chance that he was ever given. And all of those championships that he has won, he made sure that he was in the position to deliver those wins. He's an outstanding talent, probably in the top 3 greatest sportsmen of all time, and it's huge news that he's coming back, and it is an absolute bonus, particularly when we heard early this morning about the demise of BMW. That has been completely swallowed up by the news of Michael Schumacher coming back, and I'm not sure I could have ever believed that an individual would have been able to create this much fuss in the mid-season about making a comeback at 40 years of age. If we may just turn our attention momentarily to the commercial aspect of it. First of all, the media, the people who will turn on, the footprint of Formula One globally will be increased, dare I say, 15-20%. Similarly, I think that the attendance figures at the races, particularly Spa, because he's from Kerpen, which is just on the other side of the border in Germany, and I remember when Michael did his first ever racing, Grand Prix racing at Spa, something like about 35% increase on the attendance figure. Now, can you imagine what all this is going to generate. People who were struggling to try in these difficult times to sell very expensive grandstand tickets, they will be full. And Michael Schumacher is the person who's delivering that. I'm not sure anyone else could have done that.
So guys like Bernie Ecclestone right now will be rubbing their hands with him.
Dare I say, knowing Bernie possibly too long, I'm sure he has a little magic wand somewhere involved in this, because things don't just happen. Bernie Ecclestone has a very powerful mechanism of visionary things which he is exemplary for. He has made this happen. I'm sure he's been involved talking with Luca, obviously concerned about Massa, but at the end of the day, Ferrari need to race, and they couldn't have picked a better person to do that.
Given your experience, can I just ask you about the size of the challenge? If we just focus on Michael Schumacher here, as a 40-year-old, he's been out of sport for a while. I know he had a bit of a neck injury earlier on in the season as well. Just how hard is it to drive a Formula 1 car?
Well, there's a lot of things going against Michael Schumacher. One, there's a lot of young cubs, people like Hamilton, Vettel, already there, ready to win. He's raced against Button before, but the Brawn car is particularly good. And we know what Brawn did in Monaco, and Valencia won't be that much different in terms of street circuits. So they will be very competitive there. Where the disadvantage is that Ferrari at this moment is yet to win. And the big problem, in my view, is that he has yet to work with cars. He also has never raced in recent years with slick tyres, and the technology, no traction control, a lot of things have gone. But he is such, in my view, a genius. He'll overcome those in 8 to 10 laps. A racing driver just doesn't lose some things. If he's fit enough, and he would not be doing this unless he was fit enough, and my guess is that he is going to work like crazy. He's got 3 weeks to this next race, and he will be in fantastic physical fitness. And I think it's probably what he needed. He had other things, people talking about other things in his life, and this is something that will, those distractions will go away, and he will concentrate. You will see a new person, and I think he will do a lot of good for those young drivers. He'll also do a lot of good for Raikkonen. My opinion is Raikkonen will now look over his shoulder. Raikkonen will be almost certain in the knowledge that Alonso is coming to Ferrari next season, and there's only one seat available. Is it going to be Massa or me? And he will be desperate to influence Michael Schumacher that he is the man for that seat. At the moment, I wouldn't bet on that just yet, because I still think there'd be a place for Massa. But Raikkonen will be a rejuvenated driver, and he will be back to where I think he was as a world champion. It's interesting, 2 world championships in the same team. Fantastic.